Hello and welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'm going to share 5 lessons that I've learned so far in the year of 2022. And even if you're not a person of faith, I still think that these lessons will be of value to you. And so with that said, let's get into the first one. And the first lesson is, don't dwell on what you lost, but reflect on what you gained. And this was one of the hardest lessons for me to take in because I realized that some people are just not going to be in your life forever. When I first moved out to the West Coast, I naturally lost contact with a lot of the people that I've had relationships with on the East Coast. We communicated a lot less and people just move on, and that's okay. And it can be sad losing contact with the people that you had relationships with, but you can choose to reflect on how they impacted you. And so all the memories and interactions and conversations that I had with people that I naturally lost contact with, they formed and shaped me into the person that I am today, for better or for worse. And for that, I am extremely grateful. So don't dwell on what you lost, but reflect on what you gained. And the second lesson is, faith is taking the next step. And so if you're anything like me, I'm so concerned about my future. What is my life gonna look like in the next 5 and 10 and 15 years? And I think a lot of us, we're so curious about the future because we wanna know where our lives are headed. And I work with a lot of youth students, and the number one question that they always ask me is, what should I do for the rest of my life? And whenever they ask me that question, I tell them the exact same thing. I tell them that I know adults who are in their 30s and 40s and even in their 50s who are asking the exact same question. I mean, sometimes I don't even know what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. And I had to remind myself that faith is not an elevator where you get to the top or you get to your destination with the simple push of a button. But faith is more like a staircase where you have to take each step in order to get to the top and to the destination. And that's what I'm learning right now. Only God knows where I'm gonna be in the next 5 and 10 and 15 years. I don't have to know, but my part is to simply trust God and to take that next step every single day, and ultimately God will lead me where I need to be. And so faith is taking the next step. And the third lesson is that consistency over time yields far greater results than sporadic intensity. And this is a life lesson that everyone knows, but it's something that we need to be reminded of over and over again, including myself. Focused habits are more important than we realize. And a book that really influenced me is a book by James Clear called Atomic Habits. And the whole premise of that book is that big things come from small beginnings. And so habits that are part of a larger system are the building blocks of remarkable results. And I'm reminded of this quote by Bruce Lee, and he says something like this: "I don't fear the man who practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who practiced one kick 10,000 times." And the whole point is when you are consistent in doing the same thing over and over again, that's gonna yield far greater results because now you are going to be a specialist in that particular field. And so consistency over time yields far greater results than sporadic intensity. And the fourth lesson is to be present in the moment. We are all time travelers.
What?
Now, let me explain to you what I mean by this. Some of us who are more nostalgic in nature, generally, we look back at the good old times. We time travel back to the past to relive and remember certain memories. And for others, we are more future oriented. The future is unknown, and because it's unknown, that brings up a lot of excitement because of all the possibilities. And so for these people, they in a sense time travel to the future and they imagine all the different possibilities. Now, there's a time and a place to do both, but if you're anything like me, I have a really hard time and I struggle with really just being in the moment and just soaking it in. I have a hard time, enjoying what's in front of me because I'm constantly time traveling, if that makes sense. And so cherish the present because it's a good present. Huh? And the fifth lesson is that change is uncomfortable, but it's necessary for growth. As humans, we naturally gravitate towards what's comfortable and what's familiar because change requires leaving what we know behind and embracing what's new. And change brings forth anxiety and stress and discomfort, which is everything that I've experienced so far. But the upside to change is that it makes you a more experienced person with more insight and more knowledge, and you get to share those experiences with others as well. And change also softens your heart and it makes you more empathetic towards others who are going through seasons of change. And so embrace change and the benefits that come with it. Hey, if you're still watching up until this point, kudos to you. Here is a bonus lesson. Make sure you buy an air fryer because it will change your life. I have one right here. Anyways, hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care, God bless, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.